And my goal here is not to instill fear in people. My goal here is to create the awareness. If people aren't just aware of the things that they're around or consuming, they need to be, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the valley that people don't even talk about, or
Yeah,
kind of
just
like
be
just push it
informed.
away.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Real Grand Podcast. Good morning, good afternoon. If we haven't met yet, my name is Sam. Today's a good day to talk, right, and to get to know some stuff that's going on in the valley. So across from me right now is Mr. Joshua Moroles.
Yes, what's up,
So
man? Thank you for having me.
yes, sir. I've been looking at your stuff for a while. Like I was telling you earlier, I saw that you had done like a piece on the Alton bus crash.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I guess you had your own show for a while also.
Yeah,
Your
I
own
had my podcast. I think it was 2016, and it was about entrepreneurship. I was super selfish because I wanted to learn from entrepreneurs who are doing the stuff that I wanted to do. So it's kind of like, hey, can you come on my podcast? Give me all the information, and then I'll share it with everybody.
That's smart, dude.
Yeah.
That's how you get
It
it
worked
done.
really well.
That's how you get him in the room
Yep.
and talk to him for a while. Well, so the reason why we bothered Josh to come on the show is I've been seeing a lot of your stuff online, man. For I don't know, like the past like 3 months, like you've definitely been like present more,
Yeah.
at least on the social media that I get.
Yeah.
And I guess we can start. So Josh has been posting a lot about like the water quality in the valley.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff related to like flood events, and like we've had a whole bunch of them lately. Dude, I was telling Ali, like it didn't rain like this before, and I was trying to figure out, like, am I just kind of like over psyching myself or overplaying it? But now, like, not only does it feel like the rain is crazier, but like in the past we would at least know there's a storm coming.
Yeah.
But lately it's been like all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, in 3 hours there's gonna be like a
Yeah.
thunderstorm.
Well, even yesterday, I was charging my car, and out of nowhere, the rain came out of nowhere. I didn't even see it on the weather map, and it just popped out of nowhere. So these events are happening often, and they're happening longer, and they're happening more fiercely.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And late, dude, since like I think in 2018, maybe, or it was at some point in the last, like right before the pandemic, there was like a really bad like July. It was like a summertime
Yeah.
flood event.
Yeah, July floods.
Yeah, yeah. So, but this wasn't even like a hurricane. Like the hurricanes we've had like in the 2000s have not been as bad as some of these rains we've had this year, and none of them have been like a tropical storm, like nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like it's supposed to, okay, it's gonna rain today, and all of a sudden, like,
Yeah, the city of Cameron County is underwater.
yeah, dude, from like a thunderstorm.
It's crazy because that's actually how I started this new documentary. So the March 27th floods happened, and I was in Houston at my daughter's dance event, and I was sitting there. I think I have OCD or something, and I was sitting there doing absolutely nothing. I was driving myself crazy, and I seen everybody on Facebook and Instagram going through the floods. I was like, "What's going on?" And everybody's posting about it because it went all the way from, I think, from Mission, Texas, all the way to like South Padre Island. Everywhere was flooding. So I started writing a fictional script about the next Hurricane Beulah that would come, and it would kill up to 100,000 people. That was the fictional story. And I was like, you know what? Forget it. I haven't done another documentary in a long time. Let me start reaching out to people that are having their homes flooded. And I felt really bad about messaging people and commenting on people's stuff, saying, hey, can I interview you for this next documentary that's coming up? Because there's that same night, their homes were flooding. But what's interesting about that is that everybody was super receptive to me, because it's not the first time that they flooded. It's flooded multiple times. Their homes flooded like 4, 5, 6 times already, and they're fed up with it. And they want to vent. They want to talk about their story, because everyone that I interviewed with that documentary says that they have felt forgotten by their city. So it's an interesting thing to see that March 27th floods happening with just a storm, not even a hurricane. So what does that tell you? What's going to happen is that the future rain events and these future thunderstorms are just getting progressively worse over and over again. It's going to happen more often.
Okay, and that's what this documentary kind of focuses on,
Yeah.
right? Okay. I don't even know where to get with this. By the way, guys, Ali is on the phone with a local veterinarian because we were talking off camera how if you follow Josh at all, you've seen that he's been talking about like recent like cats
Yeah,
dying.
I'm exploring the reason why there are so many cat deaths in specifically McAllen, but I found out it's not just McAllen. It's McAllen, Mission, Edinburgh, Far, Westlaco, Harlingen, Brownsville. Mysteriously, hundreds of cats are dying out of nowhere.
Yeah, so and that's I mean that's been on the news and like it's not just one person talking about it. Like
Interestingly enough, the news didn't pick it up till I started talking about it.
really,
So it started going viral and people were talking about it, and then the news picked it up. So
so
good.
how did you like discover this?
Somebody was talking about it online and I started diving into it. I was like, what's this about? So I started diving into it and I made one TikTok video about it and it went viral. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm onto something. Let me follow this story. So I kept on following it. And in the comments, people were just saying, well, my cat died. My 3 cats died. My 6 cats
Oh,
died.
wow.
And interestingly enough, people on the comments section were also saying that they had started cat colonies here in Edinburgh, and that she said that she had to get rid of them because she couldn't afford them. So there was like at least 4 or 5 people that said that they admitted starting cat colonies.
Cat colonies?
Cat colonies.
What they admitted to?
They admitted to it.
Okay.
And they said that they couldn't afford them or they couldn't take care of them, so they had to let them go
Like just into the
into the wild.
like where do you let them into where? Like
Into the neighborhoods. And these cats are highly nuisance. They're very nuisance. I'm saying that wrong. They're nuisances to the society because
yeah.
what happens is now you're having feral cats all over the place. They're crapping on people's yards. They're crapping on people's vehicles. They're scratching up the vehicles. They poop everywhere. They die. And then the city of McAllen will not pick up a dead animal that's on private property. It has
won't.
to be on the street. Cities like Far will pick up any animal that's
Yeah.
dead. Or I don't know about Edinburgh's, but specific McAllen will not touch anything that's on private property.
Okay, it's funny because we were like just starting to get into like the whole like flood stuff, and then this whole like veterinary. But you know what? You were saying that like people are actually picking this up even more, right? Like
Yeah, it's interesting because I would talk about the water issues and the high rates of cancer, and it gets a lot of feedback. I'll say that. But when you start talking about cats and pets and stuff like that, it triggers people in a different way because I would assume, and this is my personal opinion, that people tend to like pets more than humans.
yeah, you're probably right, man. Honestly,
So I think
Yeah.
I think that's why. Could people care more about their animals and pets because I mean at the end of the day they're helpless. People can help themselves.
That's true.
For the most part.
that's true.
So that's my personal opinion, but I will stick by it.
But you're talking about based on what you're actually seeing, right? Like
Yeah.
you're seeing like the feedback, the comments.
Yeah, that's where I got everything from the specifically from the comments because I don't think anybody has incentive to lie to me because they're telling me what exactly is going on in their neighborhood at
Yeah.
their house, and it's going on from Mission all the way to Brownsville.
But why now though? Like you said that I saw a post like there's like a virus going on or something.
Yeah, so it's called panleukopenia, and apparently this is a disease. So actually, I have the article right here. Let me pull it up real fast. And
So we know so it's not like a conspiracy like where all the cats like taking off to.
It could be. I mean, so what I started diving into, and this was published August 7th, 2025, which is just a few days ago. Dead Colorado cat tests positive for the plague just weeks after Arizona resident dies from troubling disease. So I started diving into that.
Yeah.
And it shows that the domestic cat died of the bubonic plague. So I started piecing stuff together and it's like, what if that's going on here? Because part of that is where you're getting a bunch of cats dying off. And this is one of the signs, like something's going on here.
Quick, right? Like it's
Quick. So there's only 3 options. Is either they're being poisoned, they're being killed by somebody, or maybe it's the excessive heat that's killing them off.
Oh man,
So
true.
from what I gathered from all the comments, I got all the comments and I put them into AI and said, what are people saying about this? 70% of them, and I'm not talking about like 5 comments.
Yeah.
I'm talking about maybe 9 or 10 of my stuff that went viral, and there's hundreds of comments
On each one, right?
on each one.
Yeah.
So I got all of the content on there and I put it through AI, and it said that 70% of people are saying that it's probably poisoning that's going on or a disease. So that leads me to something like panleukopenia, or 20% of it is from animal cruelty. Is just somebody that's fed up with all the cats, so they're killing them off. And then 10% is probably from the heat exposure.
Yeah, the whole poisoning thing is a legit issue here in the
Yeah.
valley too. Well, it's kind of like, I mean, no one's gonna deny like we have a huge like spay neuter problem.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, like that cat colony, I bet you when whoever like released them out into the wild, dude, they probably weren't fixed.
Ah, absolutely.
So like I can see how people would think that it could be the poisoning. Is this recording this one? Okay. Did you just talk to the vet right now?
I did.
What
So-
happened?
So what did we learn?
We learned today that there was a case of FIV, which is cat AIDS. So this is new, guys.
Like,
by the way,
not HIV.
yes,
FIV.
it's AIDS in cats.
So again, Ali just talked to Dr. Ireland Gonzalez and Dr.
4 confirmed cases.
Martinez, of McAllen Urgent Vet, and apparently Dr. Martinez, the owner of the clinic at McAllen Urgent Vet, has seen 4 herself
Yes.
in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, Dr. Gonzalez, my bad. Dr. Gonzalez has seen 4 cases in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And that's specific to cats, right? Like panleukopenia is only for
So
cats.
She says that panleukopenia is specific to cats.
Yeah.
So she doesn't, as far as like the plague, like she doesn't think it's related to the plague because that's something that we can contract. And since panleukopenia is very specific to cats, it will not transfer to us.
Okay.
So it's from a tick, though, right? The tick can transfer the black.
It's a vector. Yeah.
plague.
Oh, the plague?
From what I understand, it the tick is what causes the panleukopenia, and the tick is what causes the black plague in people.
Well, we have a lot of ticks. No, the tick can be the plague. Like it can give you like that's like the vector that holds the plague.
So it's like, I guess, it, like
We have a lot of ticks here, man.
It's like from fleas, like if the flea has it and it gets us, like okay, yeah. But if it does not, if like the tick does not have like, if it has panleukopenia and it gets us, it's not gonna get us.
Yeah.
It's gonna get the cat.
Well, there you go. I guess it's 4 cases that she's seen in the last few weeks. That's actually kind of a lot.
And we have 3 doctors total.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many the other doctors have seen. Dr. Gonzalez says that she has seen at least 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because there's several practitioners, and that's one vet, right?
That's one vet, yeah.
Yeah, that's one vet in McAllen. There's like that clinic alone has 2, Harlingen and McAllen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about to be 3, and then you there's like a whole bunch. Dude, there's got to be if every clinic, that's only her, but if every clinic has seen 4 in the last 2 weeks, like
Yeah, that's a lot.
that's a lot, and those are only the ones that are showing up.
Yeah.
Like
And according to
treated.
the data I got, at least 200 cats have died in the past 3 weeks.
but are the bodies still there, or like are they
They
disappearing?
disappear. They disintegrate fast from what I've seen. They send me pictures of like maggots like all over and stuff. They disintegrate pretty quick.
The body.
Yeah, like within probably a day or 2.
Because I was thinking conspiracy stuff. Like I was like, are they testing the cats? Like, are they like abducting them? Like to, I don't know. Like,
Test them out.
yeah,
Yeah, but
dude, like-
I thought it was somebody killing them off. Like I thought it was just like animal cruelty. I thought it was somebody that was going out there that just fed up with the cats crapping on their yard, scratching up their homes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wreaking havoc in the neighborhoods. But I mean,
But it's a big area for that because that's like maybe like a serial cat killer could be doing that.
yeah.
But it's been a long time already.
The panleukopenia, she says that sometimes you see it in like waves also.
Ooh, it can come in waves.
And I know the
apparently.
heat makes it worse from what I understand. Like bacteria, it just makes it thrive
Spread.
more.
Yeah, well, heat makes you everything go faster.
Yeah.
Heat is bad for everything, dude.
Yeah, and
not
I
just
think
us.
today we were in an extreme, a major, what is it called?
Heat advisory.
Major heat advisory here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Were we really? Dude, I didn't even know that, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw it this morning on X, and I was like, "Oh, geez, man, it's been getting hotter lately."
it had like I remember like 2 summers ago and last summer it was like super horrible like every single day, and that's kind of gone in line with the whole like flooding stuff, dude. Like I guess we can get back to that now.
Yeah.
This is funny because like it was good though. I mean, I guess we started off with the whole cat thing.
So, just for everybody to know this, we just confirmed 4 cases that we know of
Yeah.
panleukopenia. So, if y'all think I'm full of crap, this is factual now, okay, guys?
We
I
just called a
wanna know
veterinarian
that.
ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, in real time.
There you go.
Yeah, but and apparently it does like it gets worse as there's flooding events because that makes sense and it goes in the sewage and everything like that. But let's get back to that thing, man. So that's how it started though, right? Because you said that so you weren't even in the valley when that whole thing
No,
happened in
man.
July.
Nope.
So you didn't even see it. Like you
didn't see
didn't get to experience like the gravity.
No. No,
You
I
weren't
just
stuck
saw it
in the
was
weather.
so bad, man. I felt bad for everybody because that's all that was showing up for that whole weekend I was there. That's all I could see. And then for that week until like maybe for the whole month after that, people were still left picking up the pieces.
Do you think like was it a flood because of product of like bad weather or because of like when us like the valley not being able to handle like
Yeah.
flooding in general?
We have
The
old
infrastructure.
infrastructure in the Rio Grande Valley, and people have been talking about upgrading the infrastructure for years. I think even here in Edinburgh, they have these huge, I forget what they're called, those concrete pipes somewhere next to the Citrus Theater or something like that, that they were supposed to be putting underground, but they're still there. They've been there for like years. I remember my buddy took a picture inside one, and that was years ago. And he told me the other day that they're still there. So there's a problem with the aging infrastructure across the entire Rio Grande Valley. Like our infrastructure is old, and you think about what happens when it rains. So, for example, Hurricane Beulah. This is what brought on this whole documentary. 1967, Hurricane Beulah comes in and it ravaged the land with 125 to 150 tornadoes. So imagine if we get that today, 150 tornadoes that ravaged the Rio Grande Valley, go through it and disseminate it. And then there was, I think, like 60 feet of water in some areas. And from what I understand, somebody told me that there's still sitting puddles or lakes of water from Hurricane Beulah that are still here.
Now?
Yes, now.
Like they form like
Yeah,
ponds and lakes.
they're still there. So
What?
that just shows you that the aging infrastructure and the way the Rio Grande Valley, because we're in the Rio Grande Valley, it's not a valley, it's delta.
Yeah,
So
delta.
I don't think people really understand that. But we're in the delta. So from Mission all the way out to Mercedes, there's a 1 foot drop in elevation. So everything goes out towards Cameron County. And the problem with that is it kind of, I wouldn't say bowls, but it kind of levels out over there. So the water sits there for a long time. So what happened in Cameron County is when these March 27 floods happened, all the water went that way for one. And there's areas like Green Valley Farms out there that is literally a bowl. So it sits there for days. Places like Harlingen, Brownsville, they were pumping out water from one place and pumping it to another neighborhood where they had never flooded before. So this becomes a problem because places that have never flooded before are now starting to experience flooding, not the day of the storms, but days later. So this is a huge problem because from what I understand is that the cities were using the same exact pump. So when one place was using the pump, they needed the next city. So they would borrow it, take it to the next city, pump it to the next place. The next city, hey, we need the pump. They take it, then take it to the next place. So they're pumping that water out to the Laguna Madre eventually.
Okay. But that's a super slow process then because they have to borrow from the next guy.
Yep. And from what I heard, it was broken too. So
Really?
yeah, this is people that are high up that are telling me these things.
So the next Beulah is gonna like destroy. Like I mean, it did already, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, we're overdue for it. Experts are claiming that we're way overdue for the next Hurricane Beulah, and the Rio Grande Valley is not ready for something like that. You're talking about all these flood events that they're having. These cities are talking about this stuff. These hurricane events, I think we're already in hurricane season, and from now to I think October is when it ends. This is the most powerful time that the hurricanes are going to happen. So we have, I think they said 5 to 9 big hurricanes are expected to come within the next few months.
Yeah, I read about that.
So if we're not prepared now, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, God forbid anything happens because there's people still struggling from the March storms.
From a flood, man. That's what I was trying to get at. Like that wasn't a hurricane, man. That was a thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm. Yep. It sat there and it dropped half a year's worth of rain in 36 hours.
You see, but we've had like I remember Hurricane Emily. I think that was like '05. There was a few, but dude, none of that. Like it was like people make jokes like in the valley, people laugh at hurricanes because like since Beulah there hasn't been like a horrible one.
Yeah,
so everybody's like like it's not good, and it for some reason it does tend to like at the very end, right when it's in the Gulf and it's about to come to us, it
goes up towards Houston, dude, or something.
That has been happening like every time.
Yeah.
But eventually, that's like at some point, that's not gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what Tim Smith says it's aliens.
Yeah.
I actually asked him. He's like, "Oh, it's the aliens that are protecting us."
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's one theory.
It might be Elon with all his
that's another
rocketry
theory.
over there and his billions of dollars. He wants to protect his investments.
That's another theory there too.
Yeah. So if you look at, I was looking at a article the other day that said that 83,000 homes and 200 facilities, which are schools, businesses, lay directly within the flood path of the floodplain of the Rio Grande Valley. So that means that anytime we get a huge storm, 82,000 homes, 300 facilities can get flooded. That's one study that I read. I read the Texas floodplain map or something like that. It actually shows the entire Rio Grande Valley is in the floodplain. So if we get a big enough storm, the entire Rio Grande Valley can be flooded. You're talking about the entire Rio Grande Valley, Starr County, Hidalgo County, Cameron and Willacy counties.
We've never experienced that, man.
No,
Like,
and I hope
wouldn't
we
even
never
know.
do.
But we could.
We could.
So, okay, so how did you get from this, right? So you're looking at Beulah, the next one. How did you get from that to like diving into like cancer in the valley? Because I saw that you were showing like maps of like, I guess people that there's like contaminated water, something underneath like neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like the watershed.
That's actually
water
the
table.
McAllen groundwater plume, which we can get to in a bit.
So those are separate issues.
Yeah, those are separate issues. So what happens when it floods, like March 27 floods happen, right? The Arroyo Colorado, just so let me paint a picture for the viewers, is a water source that goes from Mission, Texas, and it flows out into Laguna Madre at the island. So this is a 90-mile stretch. It was cut off about 70 years ago because of agriculture. It used to run naturally. It does not run naturally anymore.
Artificially though, right?
Artificially it does, but it's only artificially flows because of wastewater from all the entire cities in the Rio Grande Valley. So you're talking about Mission all the way to Laguna Madre, 90 miles. Every city in between there dumps the wastewater that they have from all the cities. They dump it in there, and that it flows out into Laguna Madre.
This is like an official thing. Like this is
100%.
known.
Yeah. You can fact check me, please.
Intentional,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Like-
it's made for that, and I'm not naive. There has to be a way where you get your wastewater out.
Yeah.
So that specific thing is that's its purpose now.
And it's no secret. Okay.
It's no secret. Yeah, this is it's made for that. Now, the problem is that there's industrial and farm land. It also dumps off into there. So the banned pesticides that are still being used to this day, the chemicals from all the farms, they get dumped in there too. Also, it just runs off into the Arroyo Colorado. So there's high levels of arsenic, contaminants, chemicals, toxins, all in that, along with treated and partially treated wastewater, along with untreated wastewater. So you got a recipe, a toxic soup of stuff. And people don't like the word toxic soup, but that's exactly what it is. So you have all these things in this Arroyo Colorado that flow out into Laguna Madre. Right. So follow me here. When it floods, and it always does here in the Rio Grande Valley, the water flows into the Arroyo Colorado, it inundates it, and it overflows. So all those chemicals, all those toxins, they go out into those 82,000 homes, 300 facilities across the Rio Grande Valley. So you're talking about banned pesticides, high levels of arsenic, feces, E. coli, all this stuff is going into homes and businesses across the Rio Grande Valley. The grunt of it gets done in Cameron County and Willacy County because it just kind of bowls there. And then eventually it gets pushed out. The problem is when these floods happen, it inundates the water systems, like I said, but it pushes up the sewage water because it's so there's so much water, it pushes up the sewage. And the perfect example of this is, which is well documented, Canterbury School here in Edinburgh a few months ago was their sewage system in the cafeteria got pushed up as a direct result of the March 27 floods. So what happened is they cleaned it up, but there was E. coli. There was a huge outbreak of E. coli. Parents were complaining because their kids were getting sick. And now you're thinking about this, is that E. coli went up now into turned into mold. So now people are breathing that stuff in. Kids specifically. So this problem persists in the Rio Grande Valley, and it happens over and over and over again.
And it's a fact that those pesticides are still being used.
Yeah, banned pesticides are still being used because they found them. I believe in
But is there a chance that that's like old stuff, or like it's still?
it could be, but the problem with that is like when the rains come and it alters the land or it pushes the land, some of those chemicals will come up from the ground that have been sitting dormant for years. But there's banned pesticides that are still found that most likely farmers are still using to this day. So that stuff gets run off into the Arroyo Colorado. And the perfect example of this is that Texas A&M did a study in Alamo and Progreso colonias. I think it was February 2025. It was one of the most recent ones where they found 100% of the places that they monitored, they found arsenic in every single sample, not just in the tap water, but in the toenail clippings, the hair clippings, and the blood of the people that they were living in that colonia. So this is not a study that I did. This
Yeah.
is Texas A&M.
And we can access that, right?
Absolutely.
Like if I wanna,
Yeah.
Okay.
I have all the sources because people try to fact check me all the time. And when I give them the links, they like disappear. I don't know why.
I mean, I'm not trying to like
Yeah, no,
discredit you. I'm
please,
just,
please.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure, because like, but I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because whether or not, let's say the farmers are using that stuff now,
Yeah.
or not, they did at one point. So like the fact is that it's seeping out, right? Like that's the end product is still going to be the same. It's still contaminating the water, I guess. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
I mean, it would be horrible if they're still using stuff, but the effect is still there. And so that's how. Is that how there's all those correlations with high rates of cancer here and stuff like that? Just because
so
we're
all those
exposed to all that?
chemicals in the Arroyo Colorado have been proven to cause cancer, has been proven to cause high respiratory illnesses, disease,
PFAS, right?
cardiovascular disease. The Rio Grande Valley suffers from 55% higher rates of cervical cancer. And a lot of people will push back to me and say, well, it's because they don't have access to healthcare. The problem with that statement is that if we're in an environment that's already struggling, an environment that's already compromised, that means that your system is already weakened. So you're talking about moms that have babies in their stomachs, and let's say they consume the water. They say they consume the sopitas and the pastas and all that stuff that's boiled in the water. They're consuming that. So bioaccumulation happens over time. You're not going to get sick from one glass of water, but exposure over time, over and over and over again, it bioaccumulates in your body, and specifically PFAS. Those things do not go away. They also found that in the Arroyo Colorado. So you're exposed to all these things. Your body's weaker, your immune system's weaker, and the way the scientist, which his name is Jim White, I had him on my podcast, he explained it to me that you're already exposed. All of us in the Rio Grande Valley are exposed. We have something in our body that when one day we get too old or our immune system gets too weak, it's going to release that chemical that can become a cancerous cell or an illness or a disease or something like that. So that's the way it was explained to me.
That's a given, right? Like you're here, like it's already.
You're exposed to it because it's even in the air we breathe. Like in 2023 in Cameron County, they released 32,000 pounds of carcinogens in the air. Fact check me again. From 2013 to 2023, Cameron County released 288,000 pounds of carcinogens. In 2023 alone, 32,000 pounds of carcinogens were released into the air. Nobody talks about this.
Have they seen correlations though, like with the rates of like illness? Like,
yeah. So if you go to, and I love to quote this website. It's rgvhealthconnect.org. This is where I've been getting a lot of my information from. I'm actually supposed to do a podcast with him. He created the website and it pulls data from different sources across the United States.
RGV Health Connect?
rgvhealthconnect.org.
Okay.
This is interesting because I'm trying to prove cancer clusters, and a lot of people, professionals, won't talk to me because they don't want to come out on camera, they don't want to come out on podcasts, and they don't want to show their face because they're in that professional level, but they will talk to me off camera, which is hard because I can't really use that data. I can't say, well, I heard in this, right? But it's interesting because...
But why do they want to talk to you? Because they're afraid, like...
I don't know. I guess because of their professionality, they don't want to be exposed and saying that there are cancer clusters here in the valley. I don't know, but if we go to here, let me see. This is on rgvhealthconnect.org. It's talking about, I just had it, adults with cancer, and this was in 2021. So if we scroll up here, it shows you a map. What's not loading? Yeah, there it is. So let me show you here. So this map right here, it will show you the cancer rates in the Rio Grande Valley. And these are the highest cancer rates here. So right there, that's Port Mansfield. And that right here is Sao Padre
Oh,
Island. That right there is Port Isabel. And that right there is, I think, Rio Hondo. So 4 out of the top 10 places that have the highest rates of cancer, guess where they are located around? La Laguna Madre.
mm-hmm.
Where does the Arroyo Colorado flow out to? So for me, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a chemical engineer. I'm just a dude, a talking head on social media. But that looks like a cancer cluster. And where is all the crap and the pesticides and all that stuff that's going out? It's flowing into Laguna Madre.
Yeah.
And 4 out of the top 10 places, 4 out of the 9 top places that have the highest rates of cancer are surrounded by that. It's 1 in 10 people in Port Mansfield are suffering from cancer. 1 in 12 people are suffering from cancer in Sao Padre Island. And then people
What,
say,
really?
yeah, this is 100% facts.
Documented.
This is documented. I'm not making up anything. You can go to rgvhealthconnect.org, look up this stuff yourself. And the pushback that I get is that it's because there's a lot of old people there. This is retirement communities. So people are going there from all across the world. They're retiring there. They probably had cancer before. The problem with that argument is that how do you know that they were sick? What if something they got here and they were compromised now? So they're at the highest risk because they're the oldest. That means that they can get sick faster. So what if it is something in the environment that is, they serve as a canary in the coal mine. So these people in this area that are highly susceptible to illnesses and disease, they're all experiencing these high rates of cancer. So that has to say something about the area. So whether you want to say it's because there's a lot of old people, they had disease before they came, fine. You can make that argument. But I mean,
Yeah.
it still shows that 1 in 10 people in Port Mansfield are suffering from cancer.
Let me ask you this then, because like you're saying, you get a lot of pushback. Why pushback? Like, why do people not want it to be like the PFAS and all that stuff? Like, why do they want it to be something else?
I wish I could answer that question. I think it's just like when you talk about the Rio Grande Valley, because I'm from the Rio Grande Valley, you're from the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah.
You talk crap about it, people get upset. They will get offended that you're talking to, like, even if I name a specific city, people will, no, that doesn't happen here. The problem is that if you get your consumer confidence reports that you get every single year, this is a consumer confidence report that shows you all the chemicals in the water. So this is your water report you get from your city. They give it to you 12 to 18 months after the fact. So if you received your consumer confidence report this summer, it shows you what was in your water last year. And if something is in your water today, you won't find out till summer 2026. There's a huge problem there because if your water is compromised today, if it has fecal matter in it today, you won't find out till next year. So that becomes a problem. So if you talk bad about the city's water, you talk bad about your city, people don't like that. But the truth is, the facts are undeniable. I'm not pulling this stuff out of anywhere except credible places and the documentation that they provide us. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that people don't like it when you talk bad about their city or about their region. But the data is kind of irrefutable.
Are we testing the fish?
Yeah. So interesting enough, also there was a study done at the Arroyo Colorado that showed, and it comes out actually in my documentary, that it shows that the shrimp and the fish had 1,500 times more arsenic in them in I think it was in the Donna area. So in the Donna area, there's a Superfund sites, and if you're not aware of this, Rio Grande Valley has 3 Superfund sites. Donna is among the worst. And what happened was that there was these transformers back in the day that has PCBs in them, which are forever chemicals. They dumped them around the water sources, and I think even some of them were in the water sources. They leaked out these PCBs and contaminated the entire area. There was remediation for it, but there's signs there that says do not consume the fish, do not swim, do not even touch the water. But a lot of it is put into English, and the area there is mostly Spanish speaking. So people still get in. And the problem with that is that they're fishing in that area, then they sell that fish to local restaurants. So it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I do these podcasts, is kind of to educate and inform people, because if you're still drinking your tap water, you probably shouldn't.
Are we drinking tap water? Like, is that a thing?
Oh
here?
yeah, absolutely.
Because
Just
you're talking
today,
about water this whole time, but it's getting ingested then.
for sure. So there, and I was under the assumption, because I always get this too. It's like, it's common knowledge that everybody says not to drink the water.
Yeah.
It's really not. There's 150,000 people that live in colonias in Hidalgo County alone. The vast majority of them do not have access to clean water. They can't afford bottled water. They can't afford clean water.
Right now, to this day.
To this day. So you're forced to use whatever you have. So you're talking about your sopitas that you make for your family. How many families do you think that are living below the poverty line are cooking with bottled water? Probably some, probably a lot, but there's still a lot of families that are using faucet water.
Wow.
And you even think about that too, is like when you're taking a shower or a hot bath and the steam's coming up, well, the steam has that same chemicals in it. So you're breathing it in. Over time, one shower is not going to kill you, but the bioaccumulation, like what I'm talking about, will eventually catch up. And hopefully nothing happens, because this is the thing. My grandpa's 95 years old. He fished the arroyo his whole life. He's not without health problems, but he's 95. So he's made it, right?
Yeah.
But anyone else that chooses to do that stuff, you're probably playing Russian roulette.
So like, how can I go and see the levels of stuff? Like, is this like public like even the fish, like if people are testing fish, like how would I know? Like, can I test my own stuff?
You can't test your own fish, but if you can go to your consumer confidence reports, like here, I'll show you exactly. I had one here for Sherrylandwater.com, Sherrylandwater.com, and this is your 2024 consumer confidence report.
But what is that their website or?
This is the website. So each city usually has a website where it'll post their consumer confidence reports.
It'll tell me like how much arsenic.
Yeah. So if you just scroll up here.
So we're showering in arsenic water.
Yes, you're absolutely. So let me give you this example. If I were to invite you over to my house and offer you a glass of water, and I said, hey man, drink this glass of water and you're going to enjoy it. It's safe to drink, but there's tiny, very little tiny levels of chloramines. There's tiny levels of copper, tiny levels of lead, chloride, halioacetic acids, TTHMs, antimony, arsenic, barium, calcium, copper, cyanide, fluoride, magnesium, nickel, nitrate, potassium, sodium. There's these radioactive elements in there that are called beta photon emitters. And also, there's 7 different types of PFAS in there. And also, there's your water's hard. So there's very tiny. They're very tiny little. There's total dissolved solids in there. There's aluminum, chloride, iron, magnesium, and sulfates. That's the Sherryland water, by the way. I literally read you all the chemicals that are in the Sherryland water.
You can see the levels and everything.
100%. Even though it's tiny. Even though it passes federal regulation, there's no violations, and there's maybe a drop within maybe 2 Olympic-sized pools. The problem is PFAS does not go away. It accumulates in your body. It does not go away. So it accumulates more and more and more. And there's 7 different types of PFAS in the Sherryland water. So you think about that. Who wants to be drinking chemicals in their water?
Yeah, and some of us still are.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this all begs the question, man. Like, what do we do about all this?
Yeah. The problem with that is I don't have an answer. So I've been breaking my head on this. I talked to Charlene Torres, which works for the Army. She's a chemical engineer. She's working, I think, in Japan right now to figure out the air pollution problem. That's her job. She's literally doing that. She's supposed to come on my podcast to help me figure out how to remediate these processes. But her expertise explains to me that nothing will be done until for the next 10 to 20 years. If you want a complete clean out, it's going to take 10 to 20 years, and it's on the higher part of the 20 years. The most immediate thing somebody can do is get a water filtration system, or even the Brita water filters. Like, because there's different levels.
Yeah.
You need a Brita water filter that probably costs you $20. You'll get clean water.
Mm-hmm.
The next level is you buy a $250 system off of Amazon. You install it under your tap water. And then the next level is a $7,000 to $10,000 filtration system by Coal Air.
Yeah.
Right. So there's different levels for people who want stuff. But the immediate thing that you can do is filter your water, because then you're going to be drinking everything I just named.
Yeah, and that, like that example of Shareland is separate from the issue with the Arroyo Colorado,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So like I couldn't even say that.
Yeah.
My Mexican failed me. So those are two separate things. Like that has nothing to do with the Arroyo getting contaminated. That's just its own city, because Sharyland's not even. That's like Mission. That's the start of the Arroyo.
Yeah. So the way
If you
cities.
fix the Arroyo, that's still like
Yeah,
the cities are still gonna have their own issues.
Well, it's because the cities get their water from the Rio Grande River.
Okay.
So the Arroyo Colorado, every time it floods, some of those things can go into the water municipalities, and it's been documented before. The problem is that the cities are getting their water that we drink from the Rio Grande River, which is also highly polluted. So the problem is, if those chemicals aren't being filtered out correctly, and when I say filtered and treated, they're using chloramine, halioacetic acids, and TTHMs, which disinfect the water. These are also known to cause illnesses in people. Themselves. Yeah. What they use to disinfect are known to cause illnesses in people. So you can see how they missed a lot of stuff, or there's very, very tiny amounts, trace amounts, even that, but trace amounts over time build up in the body.
Yeah. Is this a valley problem, or is this like everywhere?
There's problems all over the United States, because I get people all the time saying, well, I'm going to move from the valley. Well, you're going somewhere else that's probably just as polluted, or somewhere that's nastier. But the problem is that the Arroyo Colorado, per amount of chemicals in it, is one of the most polluted water systems in the United States. And then you're talking about the Rio Grande River, and then you're talking about also the tap water.
Okay.
So you're getting it from 3 different angles.
I need to look this up, man, because like fishing is a big thing in my family.
100%.
Like, and the Arroyo, the Laguna Madre, is where like that,
it all happens.
If you've ever had redfish in your life, trout, it came from the Laguna Madre.
Yeah.
Like at least for people that live here. But I mean, if that's in the water, then I mean, it's going to be in the fish too. Then
absolutely. And my goal here is not to instill fear in people. I mean, I love fishing. I know a lot of people that love fishing. I think what you need to do is just be aware. I think that's my goal here, is to create the awareness, because like I said, a lot of people, they still drink the tap water.
Yeah.
And knowing maybe that you don't want to eat that fish anymore. Or I'm not saying that you're not to eat the fish, because I love South Padre Island. I love to go there. I love to hang out there. I love to eat fish too. But the problem is, if people aren't just aware of the things that they're around or consuming, they need to be, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the valley that people don't even talk about, or kind of like just push it away.
That push away, or not talk about it. Like, I'll be honest, like I was kind of iffy a little bit to even have this conversation on the show, because like I didn't want us to be like labeled like fear mongering.
For sure.
You know, and there's probably a balance, and some of these conversations are biased. There's political reasons. There's like people want to just, you know, the way to make a good headline. If it bleeds, it leads. You know, that stupid saying which is true.
Yeah.
In journalism. So I was kind of iffy about that. Like I don't want to turn people off. But then, like, why would we get turned off though? Right? Like, I mean, if these are facts, and like you said, we can
cite and sourced and everything.
Can you send me some of these? Because I want to put them also.
I've been working on a list of sources since I started, so
Okay.
I'll email it to you. I have it ready to go, because I go to it every single time somebody says, "Well, where's the facts?" So like, here you go, dude.
Yeah, because I mean, the Valley's listening right now, and I want to give them like something that they can look at, as far as, because I mean, at the end of the day, like it's true, like we shouldn't just listen to hearsay.
Right. Do your own research, and I tell everybody, don't believe me. Do not believe me. Go check for yourself, because that's the only way you really take this seriously. Like if you see it for yourself, just like I did, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, because like cancer cluster thing is kind of scary, man. I don't know what other word to use. Like, because I mean, those are some serious correlations or coincidences, if you want, like at the very least.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like it makes you, I mean, you can't be afraid to live either.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And like that example, the island is, I mean, we all love, that's one of the best things that we have here in the valley.
Yeah.
So I guess it is a balancing act. But I can see how like you just want to like let people know, right?
Yeah.
Like just give them the information.
Absolutely. Let them do what they want with it. But I've
Give
always
us those
said,
links though. Give us those.
yeah, I'll
links.
get you those links. But you need to take care of yourself. You need to drink clean water. You need to eat clean. You need to exercise. You need to get out. You need to keep moving. You need to keep your brain active, because the valley is notorious for a perfect example. In Starr County, 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 have dementia. This is a huge problem, and it's starting to come into the rest of the Rio Grande Valley. Why it's happening, I don't know, but it is probably possibly tied to the environment. So you think about that. Our older demographic is now suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's, and it's touching people in the Rio Grande Valley everywhere. Now cancer's touching it. You have some of the highest rates of cardiovascular disease in the valley. So I don't think people really understand the problems that the Rio Grande Valley is going through. And we have 17 hospitals in the valley, and per area, that's a good number. Like it's a low number, right? But the problem is that you're starting to see increasing rates of cancer, especially like breast cancer in women. Like these things are very serious things that are happening that nobody wants to talk about, because the last thing that somebody with cancer wants to talk about is cancer. And I've proven this because one of my good friends that I work with, a nonprofit, she's had cancer. And I was like, why aren't you sharing my stuff? Like, you should be one of the first people to share my stuff. He's like, the last thing I want to worry about is cancer. I don't even want it in my mind. So it's kind of that mentality is like, it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Until something happens to your family.
Yeah, and it's true, man. Like, and the whole like breast cancer thing, it's not just more, it's also younger too.
Yeah.
Like, there's no such thing as you're too young for that anymore.
Yeah.
For everything, dude. Like colon cancer, having a stroke, a heart attack, like the whole you're too young thing. It's like, bro, like,
Yeah, that's out the window now.
yeah, like the younger generation, man, we're like, we're all messed up.
Well, that's
man.
the thing, dude, because I go to the gym and I see a lot of young guys like your age, and they're like, hey, you're that dude that's talking about the water issues. Thank you, because if I didn't talk about it, they wouldn't have heard this. So you think about that. These young guys, your age demographic, I don't know if you're married or not, but you will eventually get married one day, and you eventually probably will have kids one day. I mean, you need the environment that you live in, and everybody that's going to start coming up and becoming married and have children, being contributors back into society. You want this to be the cleanest place possible for your children to grow up, because then what? They're growing up into more sickness. In 2040, the Rio Grande Valley is supposed to double in population. That's not very far from now. So if it doubles in population, do we have double the amount of sick people? I don't know. I can't answer that question. But if we don't do anything about it now, there's a good chance that that's going to happen.
Yeah. Can I ask you one more little question?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you have any like I mean, and you can answer this any way you like.
Sure.
I don't want to put I don't like putting my guests like on any like hot seats, or I don't like that whole thing that media does, like force them into questions.
Yeah.
Do you have any like value conspiracies that are like that maybe people would want to like rabbit hole into?
Conspiracies? No, I started talking about the whole cat thing because I wanted to get away from the water stuff and give my mind a break, but that ended up being worse, man.
Well, that could be one too, man. Like I was telling you off mic, like maybe they're testing them.
Yeah.
But now I was just thinking, because like every once in a while, like on Reddit, like people have like valley lore, and it's like it's kind of funny.
Well, the whole thing with the cats, though, there was a few comments that were kind of disturbing that said that there's probably a serial killer that's killing out these cats and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that was probably mentioned like 4 times out of all the comments that I had, which kind of piqued my interest because of the whole don't f- with cats on Netflix. The whole, did you ever see that?
I haven't seen it. But...
So what happens, like, apparently is once your animal cruelty, you graduate up into like killing people.
Yeah, that's like the gateway.
Yeah, the gateway.
The marijuana.
And the interesting thing about that too is that the 3-letter agencies, they actually track animal cruelty, which is interesting.
Just to figure out if you're like your propensity for being a serial killer.
Yeah, I guess so. Which is interesting. So you all want to go down a conspiracy theory with that? Go for it. But in my opinion, it's probably panleukopenia that's killing them off.
Okay, there we
so
go.
there is disease that's probably going on. And the most interesting thing I learned today was that there's cat AIDS. So
yeah, FIV. Yeah, it starts as FIV.
Yes, and it is absolutely 100% here in the Rio Grande Valley, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but if we're talking like about panleukopenia, yes, there's
They both are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both here.
Yeah. So
yeah.
either way, you gotta spay and neuter your cats,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Was it spays for male or for female?
I'm not exactly sure.
Spay is female.
Spay is
neuter
female.
male. But get your cats vaccinated.
Allie's over here having like a cat campaign, right?
Get your cats vaccinated for the panleukopenia. It's like parvo. You get your.
Oh, you can get vaccinated for that?
Yeah, it's like
You can get
there's
vaccinated
for
parvo.
panleukopenia.
There's like when you go in for your yearlies for your dog, you do the rabies and the bordetella and there's one thing for parvo. There's that for cats. And from what I've seen, it's for the panleukopenia, for the rabies, and the
Yeah, but people in the valley aren't taking their
Yeah.
cats to the vet, dude.
There's
Or their
like probably
dogs,
one person
man.
that will do it out of the kindness of their heart and do that, but
Yeah.
it gets expensive, right?
Yeah, duh. And there's even that whole thing like, oh, like Mexican family dogs are like the toughest. Like,
Yeah.
like, they don't know what diabetes is. Like, nombre, like
They probably have AIDS or something. I don't know.
you don't know it. Well, that's why they're healthy, because they never got diagnosed with anything.
Yeah,
'cause they never showed up
exactly.
to the vet. Like growing up, I hate to call out my parents, but we never took our dogs to the
Yeah,
vet, bro.
why would you?
We would go to Moroles, like feed stores and get them
Yeah.
like shots and stuff like that. But like, I don't know what our dogs had. They always seemed fine. Like I didn't know until I was like older that there you can get like health conditions.
Yeah.
Which is stupid, right? Because obviously, like, dude, it's an animal. Like
Yeah.
we are too. But I never connected those dots. That's probably a valley thing, like not taking your.
I'm
that's
sure it happens
unfortunate.
a lot of places. I was reading a
I
statistic.
love the valley, by the way.
Yes, and we all do here. We're
We're
from
all-
here.
yeah,
Yes,
we're here for a
Yes,
reason.
we are from here. We love this place, guys. So do not leave, because what we're talking about is serious issues that we can fix together. For some reason, the cities don't like to work together, but the problem is that we need to work together to fix these problems. On that note, I heard another statistic the other day that said there's one in Hidalgo County. There's one feral animal for every 2 people that live in Hidalgo County.
Oh my god.
So that's a ton of them, of
Dude.
feral animals, not just cats, feral animals.
So I guess, guys, obviously, like if you're hearing about a problem, you want a solution. I guess an obvious one is get some don't drink the tap water, right? But even there's filters for showers too.
Sure, yeah.
Like we have one for hard water, but it also like has like vitamin E and like it's hitting your skin, so might as well like nourish it. Do something like that, right? Like filter your water in every form, because it's not just drinking it. Like your skin is an organ too. Like
Right.
it's going.
It's the biggest organ. It
steam-
absorbs it.
Yeah, the steam is going directly into your lungs. So I guess that's something we can do. That way we don't leave people like feeling like
Yeah.
they're gonna hate us more. You tell us all these horrible things, but don't
Yeah.
tell us what to do about it.
That's the problem, is like every time I talk about this stuff, people kind of like, I feel sad about this, but I don't know any other way to put it. Like I wish I could put a happy spin on it and say, hey guys, go out and have a great day. But the problem is that these are facts, verified facts from things that I'm pulling from 56-page documents, 26-page theses. It's real. And I don't know any other way to put it with like a smiley face on it, because it's hurting the Rio Grande Valley. It's hurting the people that I love. It's hurting my friends. If somebody gets cancer, I see a cancer diagnosis every single day on Facebook. It's heartbreaking. If it doesn't bother you that your family members or your friends are suffering from cancer, it should bother you, because something can be done about it.
Yeah. Well, guys, I mean, hopefully, we'll get some sources, right?
Yeah,
some links.
absolutely. I'll send them too.
So check them out. It's a conversation worth having. This show is all about like making the valley a better place, but this conversation does do that, like in an indirect way.
Awareness.
Yeah. Because we normally are more like a good like our episode this week was about UTRGV football. Last week it was like it's usually a more bright, brighter.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't get to the top unless you start from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's where we're at right now. But check out the links, right? We're not trying to convince anyone of anything, or there's no agenda here either, right? We're just
I'm not selling any filters. I'm not selling anything, guys. If you go onto my social medias, I'll never tell you to buy anything.
yeah.
But I do have on that note, I do have a petition, and the petition shows exactly how all 1.4 million people in the Rio Grande Valley are having their human rights violated, according to criteria that the United Nations states. So the clean access to water, clean access to adequate housing, access to health, all these are being violated in the Rio Grande Valley. And I need 10,000 signatures to be able to take it to the senator's office. I think like right now I have like 3,700 signatures. So I'm a little bit off, but once I get that, I'll be able to take it to the next step. I don't get incentivized for any of the stuff that I'm putting out. I don't get paid for it. I'm doing this because I want my children and my friends and family to grow up in a clean Rio Grande Valley, but it's going to take 10 to 20 years. So somebody needs to take the flag right now and take that to where it needs to be. And I don't want to be the only person talking about this. Like, I don't want to be that dude who's like, hey, your human rights are being violated. I'm not that guy. I need people to come aboard to do their own research and say, hey, what this guy is talking about is correct. Or don't even say it's don't even say me. Like, take my content, research it, and then put it out for yourself. I don't even care if you take my stuff. Like, it just needs to be talked about, because it can't only be me that's talking about it. Because then it's, oh, well, that dude Josh is talking about it. He's probably right or he's probably wrong. If more people talk about the subject and the problems that are going on here, it becomes a very real thing.
All right, guys. Well, we'll leave you to it. Filter your water, vaccinate your cats, get them spayed, neutered.
Panleukopenia.
Word of the day.
There you go.
Panleukopenia, which is a virus, a feline virus that apparently spreads like wildfire.
Yep.
Right, which wildfires are another issue. But anyway, guys, we'll let you go. Thanks for being with us on the Rio Grande podcast. This is Josh. Check out his stuff when you can. And we'll see you next week.
See y'all soon.